Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of The Wrap, brought to you by Michigan Medicine Headlines. I'm Dan Ellman with the Department of Communication.
And I'm Dan's latest co-host, Jen Williams, also with the Department of Communication. Today, we're going to discuss some of the changes being made by Health Information Technology and Services that will improve the work environment here at Michigan Medicine.
Now, before we get into that, you can improve your own work environment by checking out all the episodes of The Wrap you may have missed. You can find the shows on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or any other podcast hosting platform. New episodes can also be found on the Michigan Medicine YouTube channel and as part of the Headlines Week in Review.
Now, let's bring in Glenn Sard, a customer service experience analyst for HITS, who is here to discuss his team's plan to upgrade services for all faculty and staff. Thanks so much for being here, Glenn.
Thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here.
Now, first, can you explain the big change that's happening over the next few months when it comes to HITS?
Sure. As many might have seen recently in Michigan Medicine Headlines and in Digital Science and Screensavers we've been running, we're promoting Get Ready for a New Outlook. It's probably more correct to say a better Outlook. Over the next about 6 weeks, we're going to be upgrading about 48,000 Outlook accounts from on-premise servers to the cloud. And that's going to be happening in waves between now and mid-December.
So why exactly is HITS doing this?
So good question. We are upgrading the Outlook accounts. It is a part of our Microsoft 365 or M365 effort that is aiming to bring a digital workplace suite of tools to everybody in Michigan Medicine. The Outlook in the cloud will enable full integration with other Microsoft tools that we've recently introduced, including SharePoint Online, Office 365 and OneDrive, and Forms. And it's also paving the way for us to introduce Teams, which is coming soon.
So what should Outlook users expect to see and when?
So users should stay tuned for messages from Ready for M365. We will be sending targeted messages to users to let them know when their wave is happening. The waves are about 72 hours long. They take place over about 4 days, and any individual upgrade can happen at any time during that upgrade. So we want people to sort of be aware and be ready when this happens. When their account gets upgraded, typically you may see a message that says something like, an administrator has made a change to your account, and you'll be temporarily signed out of Outlook. For most folks, they'll just need to log back into their regular desktop app using their @med email address and level 2 password, and they should be good to go.
So what else should people know about this upgrade?
So after your account is upgraded, you'll be able to resume using Outlook to get your email and calendar, again, just by signing back in with your @med and level 2. But you'll also be able to visit office.com from anywhere on any device using any browser and log in with your @med and level 2, where you'll also be able to get your email and calendar, as well as access to your other Microsoft tools like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. In fact, you'll find that your documents that you've created in your desktop apps will be available to you in the online, and you'll be able to share and collaborate live in those documents. So it's a pretty nice feature.
Nice. Now, you've thrown a lot of information out there already. What if people have further questions or experience some issues during their upgrade? What can they do?
So the main thing that we want people to know is we've created a hub site of all the information that you should need to get you through your upgrade. That's available at mishmed.org/MDM. That's the place you should start. We've got the site will navigate you to the information you need. It will provide how-to instructions step-by-step, including videos. If people run into trouble, we offer a troubleshooting guide that's available from that same website, and it answers many of the common questions and issues that people might run into. And it also provides links to in-person support sessions, as well as virtual Zoom sessions where people can see demos and ask questions and hopefully get their issues solved if they have any.
Nice. Now, Glenn, can Can you tell us kind of the importance of people looking out for this and making sure that they follow the necessary guidelines when it does come to their upgrade?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we are doing a big campaign to promote awareness of this. We want people to know that this is coming, both more generally across all of Michigan medicine, but also as each of the waves are kicking off. We want people to be aware and prepared. And what we're encouraging people to do is to go to the website I mentioned, the mishmed.org/MDM, and actually bookmark that site now so that when your upgrade happens, you have that information handy and you can find it.
Now, I know a lot of my workday is centered around Outlook and using it for, obviously email and calendar features and scheduling meetings and things like that. Are there any current features that we might not have in the new Outlook, or is that really not a concern?
You should have all of the functionality that you have now, except as I mentioned, you'll have an opportunity to get it from anywhere on any device. So you won't have to just get it from your desktop app. If you use a mobile device, you will have to upgrade your mobile device management software. Currently, we use Intelligent Hub. I think most people are familiar with that. If they are using a mobile device to access Outlook, you'll need to upgrade to Microsoft Intune. And again, we have instructions, complete instructions, how-tos, videos, everything you can need to walk you through that process at mishmed.org/MDM.
Thanks so much for all this information, Glenn. Now, is there anything else that people should know about this upgrade?
Sure. So we expect that everybody should have all the information and help that they need at both our migration guide website as well as the troubleshooting guide. But if folks run into issues or have questions that they can't address using those two resources, we're asking that people not call the service desk. We are on the troubleshooting guide providing links to a form that people can fill out, and we're going to have a special queue and people on hand ready to respond to those questions. That's really the best and quickest way to get help if you run into issues, is by using the form on the troubleshooting guide, not by calling the service desk.
Excellent. That's great to know. Thank you so much, Glenn, again, for sharing this information regarding the new Outlook that's coming soon. If you want to learn more about it, go to mishmed.org/MDM or visit mmheadlines.org. That's mmheadlines.org.
All right, Glenn, we really enjoyed you on the podcast today, but we got one more thing for you to do.
Uh-oh.
For every episode, our guests answer 4 quick fire questions as part of the lightning round. Are you ready?
I hope so.
All right.
We'll find out, huh? All right. As someone who works in information technology, this is an appropriate starting point. What is one piece of technology that you couldn't live without?
Microsoft 365.
Great answer. Great answer. If you could travel anywhere in the world over the holidays, where would you go?
Where I'm going, which is just home to be with my family.
Oh, I like that. All right. Now, this might lead to this question. Thanksgiving is just around the corner. What's your favorite family holiday?
It is Thanksgiving for sure. Absolutely. No presents to buy and plenty of food to eat. It's the perfect mix.
Eating and football, right? Like, what more
That too, right?
And finally, what is the one superpower you wish you had?
A superpower. Time travel.
I like
where
it.
would you
That'd be
go?
fun.
I would love to go back in time and forward in time. I'd like to tell people in the past about what's going to happen, and I'd like to see what the future would be like.
Nice.
Is that too corny?
No, I think that's
great.
good.
It's wonderful.
No, when it comes to time travel for me, I always feel like I want to sort of go back in time, but just observe. I don't actually want to live back in time because, I like air conditioning and heat and technology and PlayStations and TV and things like that. But I do, I love history, so I just want to go back and see how people live. I just don't want to live that way.
Well, you could also, there's always the risk of doing something that changes the course of history too.
Well, that's true.
Right.
Especially if you're giving people
I've seen too
warnings
many
like you.
movies. Right.
All right,
I'd
Glenn.
Absolutely.
actually like to travel in the future. Like, I want to see what the future is going to be like how clear can our televisions get, right? Like,
That is the key question. Yes.
like, remember back in the day when you had like the really big TVs with the knobs, and I mean, now we have like a thin layer of paper as television. So I'm like, how smaller or how much clearer are these things going to get? So it's probably like something I'd like to know in the future.
I don't want to date myself, but I could do you one better. Black and white. I remember black and white
Ooh.
TV.
Right?
Yeah, you just dated yourself on that one.
Yeah.
And rabbit ears.
I had color TV, but
Yep. And no cable.
oh yeah, that's brutal. But people were outside more, they weren't
It's
in
true.
the house.
That's
Right.
true. All right, Glenn. Well, thank you so much for being a great sport and joining us today. Once again, if you want to learn more about the new Outlook, go to mmheadlines.org. That's mmheadlines.org.
And if you also go there, you'll see that today is the first day of Wellness Week at Headlines. Stay tuned for features, stories, and messages that will help you pause, reflect, and align as we enter month 20 of the pandemic.
All right. Now, Jen, as part of our internal communication team, you are known as Zen Jen. And, sometimes we use that as sort of a joke, but you've definitely made wellness and well-being a priority when it comes to communicating with our workforce. Can you talk a little bit about why wellness is such an important topic for you?
Sure. For me, wellness is important in order to live a full life. You have to be able to balance the complexities of life also with the necessities. And I believe that you can't really live a full life and enjoy the beauty of life while being burned out. So to me, wellness is that balancing act that never really ends. For work, it's really about support and knowing that you are not alone. People want to know that they have resources and that there are teams that are dedicated to balancing their workloads, responsibilities, and also innovating new ways in order to tackle burnout. So it's really about just letting people know that we care. And so I'm really excited about Wellness Week and also partnering with the Wellness Office as we put more information out there about their research and what they're doing to change the overall well-being of our organization, as well as department level and individual level.
Yeah, and I think one of the great things about Wellness Week, Michigan Medicine has so many incredible resources out there. If you need to talk to somebody about things going on in both your personal life or your professional life, but so many of our employees don't know about it. And it's really just getting the word out there, right? That these resources, which already exist and have existed for a long time, are there for you and are available for you to take advantage of them.
Absolutely. And I think now more than ever before, wellness resources are needed. So I think that people are recognizing that they are there. And now they're able to actually find out, how they can actually use them for themselves and their teams. During the last 20 months, it's just been rough trying to even balance work and life. And so I think going into the future, wellness and well-being will be a huge part of workforces across the country and the world.
Absolutely. So if you want to learn more about these important messages, stories, take a look at headlines this week. Take a look at some social media posts, the employees at Michigan Medicine Facebook page. They will give you all sorts of tools and resources that you will need to take care of yourself for really right now and into the years ahead.
All right, it's time for the weekly trivia contest. Last episode, we asked listeners, what is the name of the new program that is assisting younger cancer patients at Michigan Medicine? The answer is the Adolescent and Young Adult Oncology Program. Congratulations to Brian Wu, who once again sent in the correct answer. Now for this week's question, here's Dan.
All right, this week's question is, how many Outlook accounts will HITS be upgrading between now and mid-December? Once again, how many Outlook accounts will HITS be upgrading between now and mid-December? You can find the answer in last week's headline story or by rewinding this episode of the Wrap. And once you know it, send it to headlines@med.umich.edu for the chance to win a prize.
Well, that's all we have for this show. Glenn, thank you so much for joining us. And thanks, as always, to all of our listeners and viewers for everything you do for patients, families, and each other.
We'll see you next time.